Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that if you're returning. How you doing? What I'm going to talk about right now is land grab. Okay, this is a narrative that you've been hearing a lot of from people in North Carolina, and this is not a conspiracy theory at all whatsoever. Okay, here's how it works. I'm going to explain everything to you. Okay, now just for perspective, okay, just put yourself in this situation. Your family lives on 30 acres of land by the river. It's worth approximately $225,000. Hurricane Helene rolls in. It wipes out your home and floods about 50% or so of the 30 acres that you live on. You now live in a tent with your children, and you have applied to get temporary housing unit from FEMA. Okay, whether that be a mobile home or whatever the case may be. Okay, FEMA shows up, takes a look around and says, yeah, sorry, we can't give you the trailer that you were promised to live on in this land because you are now considered to live in a flood zone. You say, all right, well, I don't want to live in a tent with my kids anymore, so what do? You're the government. You're supposed to know what's best, so what's your suggestion? What is your advice? FEMA says, well, you can sell your land to us for the current tax evaluation, which is $18,000, and we'll put you up in a nice warm RV. Wait a minute, $18,000. My land is worth $225,000, but they're saying the tax evaluation. I only pay taxes on $18,000, even though my land is worth $225,000. Huh. That's what you think, right? That's what's going on in your brain. And you know that that's what the facts are. Why? Because you pay your taxes every single year. And you kept all of those important documents in the safe in the house, which got destroyed. Shit. So you say, well, wait. I can't really sell this for 18 grand. It's worth 10 times more than that, and it's the only asset that I have, right? You no longer have the house as an asset. You no longer have your car as an asset because that got destroyed by water. The only thing you have now left is your land. So FEMA says, all right, no worries. Check you later, right? So now what happens? You are stuck living in a tent with your 3 little ones, wondering if you should just sell the whole thing you have left to your name to have a nice warm place to keep your family safe so you can get a good sleep at night, right? That's called a land grab. So this is exactly what's happening, and I know, like, people, this is what is actually being told by the people who actually live in North Carolina in the Appalachian, mountains. And then you have the government come in and say, oh, that's not what we're doing. We're not doing that. Okay, really? Because we caught you actually not giving help to the people who had 47 signs or flags in their yard. Okay, and when you were called out on it, then you said, oh, oopsie poopsie. Okay, so now that we're calling you out on this, now, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. It's not true. It's not true. Well, yeah, it is. Okay, you think all those people in North Carolina who only have this land left as an asset, you think they're going to lie? and they're all telling, and none of these people know each other, and they're all telling the same story, you think they're going to lie? Come on now. Come on now. Think. Okay? Think. So, this is exactly what this is. Okay? And this has been going on for ever. Okay? I mean, ding, 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 Maui. All right? So, now that I talked about that, I do have some very interesting things that you guys need to see. Okay? And this first thing is like a glimpse, if you will, into the future. This is what they're saying is what 2035 is going to look like. It's a glimpse into what our lives could look like if we were to go green. And the elites actually get their way if we don't fight back. Okay, here you are.
Now, new regulations increase public awareness. All cars will be required to have advanced climate control systems.
How did we get here?
Good morning, California. We are experiencing another wave of brownouts as concerns grow over China's new coal power plant. Citizens are urged to do their part, remember our responsibility to Earth.
At first, I wanted to do what I could. Be a team player. Okay, you got 2 minutes of hot water. Think you can be quick? Ready, set, go. They told us it wouldn't last long, and that we were in this together.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, maybe. But probably just have to FaceTime her.
Okay.
There are still echoes of the world I remember, but they feel distant, like memories from another life.
Mr. Williams, in preparation for your meeting with the chairman this evening, I think it would be wise to set a good example. We wouldn't want to miss hitting our ESG score before your big evening now, would we?
They say, in order to serve the greater good, we need to make more sacrifices.
Of course, David, I hear great things about you. I'm sure they're just words. They don't mean anything. I'm kidding, of course. And Jessica, thank you.
But when I look around, the we that does the sacrificing isn't them. It's us.
Dinner was nice. If we cut back on emissions, maybe we could do something like that for your birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sure you're okay biking home?
Oh, my score's gone way up since I stopped driving.
Updated federal mandates are going to be published later this month, and employers are scrambling to keep up. So later tonight, we'll discuss those new.
I live in a world that is constantly giving me feedback.
Especially your homemade foods, as fears of brownouts are still.
And I want to leave it better for him. But most days, I'm just left wondering, how did we get here?
Went on to say that you did not want your money going to immigrants who, quote, rape our kids and get priority, end quote. This offence is so serious that an immediate custodial sentence is unavoidable. Would you stand, please? The sentence that I pass has been reduced by 1/3 to reflect your guilty plea. The sentence is one of 20 months imprisonment.
Breaking news here in a very frosty, batshit bonkers Britain, where British farmers turned up in their thousands to protest against Rachel Reeves' ceramic bobhead and her ridiculous inheritance tax, which will mean the end of British farming. You know, Jeremy Clarkson was there and did a brilliant job of articulating what so many farmers have been feeling for so long. If there was one criticism, perhaps, it would be that it was a little bit too polite. Terms had obviously been agreed by the National Farmers Union and the government. 2 tractors were allowed into London, and I would suggest we need to get a little bit more French about the whole thing. In other news, inflation rises to 2.5% because ceramic bobhead Rachel Reeves, hair by Lego, has decided not only will she freeze pensioners to death this winter, but she's going to starve them to death as well. Isn't Labour government just absolutely marvellous? And finally, in a final act of a dying administration that some would argue was dead a very long time ago, Biden is sending long-range missiles for Ukraine to use in Russia and anti-personnel mines. You know, I think they just had some left in the store cupboard and they may as well use them up. They know that their war is over as soon as Trump takes office. Keir Starmer, of course, is still banging on about Ukraine, hoping to get one final blowy off Zelensky. But we look forward to the Trump administration and some kind of sanity returning to the White House. That's it here in Batshit Bonkers Britain.
Hola, mi gente.
Vale, compañeros. Démosle chance, que vienen muchos compañeros hasta atrás. Vea.
If I were the devil, if I were the prince of darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness and I'd have a third of its real estate and 4/5 of its population, but I wouldn't be happy until I had seized the ripest apple on the tree. So I'd set about, however necessary, to take over the United States. I'd subvert the churches first. I'd begin with a campaign of whispers. With the wisdom of a serpent, I would whisper to you as I whispered to Eve, do as you please. To the young, I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around. I would confide that what's bad is good and what's good is square. And then I'd get organized. I'd educate authors in how to make lurid literature exciting so that anything else would appear dull and uninteresting. I'd peddle narcotics to whom I could. I'd tranquilize the rest with pills. If I were the devil, I'd soon have families at war with themselves, churches at war with themselves, and nations at war with themselves, until each in its turn was consumed. And I'd have mesmerizing media fanning the flames. If I were the devil, I would encourage schools to refine young intellects, but neglect to discipline emotions, just let those run wild. Until before you knew it, you'd have to have drug-sniffing dogs and metal detectors at every schoolhouse door. Within a decade, I'd have prisons overflowing. I'd have judges promoting pornography.
We're talking about 8-year-olds and 9-year-olds and 11-year-olds and 12-year-olds. He's got over 600 images, gobs of video footage of these children. But you say this does not signal a heinous or egregious child pornography offense. And then you went on to say the defendant was merely trying to satisfy his curiosity. That's somehow a reason to only give him 3 months. Help me understand this.
Soon I could evict God from the courthouse, then from the schoolhouse, and then from the houses of Congress. I would lure priests and pastors into misusing boys and girls and church money. If I were the devil, I'd take from those who have and give to those who wanted until I had killed the incentive of the ambitious. I would caution against extremes.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
I would convince the young that marriage is old-fashioned, that swinging is more fun, that what you see on TV is the way to be. In other words, if I were the devil, I'd just keep right on doing what he's doing. Paul Harvey. Good day.